Hi. Okay, so I know it's been a while since I've actually posted. Um and there's various reasons for that, but none of them really are an excuse. Um Now, some of you may be thinking like, "Oh, well, that's very valid." Um but truth be told, I feel like the reasons that I'm going to give you are yeah, they may be valid, but at the same time it's kind of like I stood in my own way, you know what I mean? And I did actually create sort of like a script, but I forgot that I put photo paper in there in the printer, so I printed them on photo paper. Yeah. So, one of the things I want to touch on are kind of like my challenges and how damn, not my voice cracking. How okay, so basically I have so many ideas and just like a million ideas coming at me, right? And I'm like, how do you narrow those down? So then I started, doing research and kind of just reading books and conducting sort of like a mini experiment on myself, if you will, on exactly where I was my attention was being guided. But the thing is, my attention, of course, my attention was still being guided towards music, but the amount of frustration that I experienced and felt was immense because in all honesty, for the longest time, I was operating from a place of insecurity. So, me just having that in the back of my mind every time I would sit down and try to learn the piano or I was at one point enrolled in taking piano classes, but my work schedule started to become cumbersome again, so it was a burden. And then mix that with the insecurities on playing music, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back, I'm gonna teach myself. So then i like I bought a great deal of books learning music theory and things like that, and I've learned a lot. um the only thing is though, making it stick was the hardest part. So once I finally got a lot of it to stick, my attention then was shifted, and I was posting a lot more on TikTok because they were like, "Oh, when you're separating your attention to three different platforms, normally one of those or two of those, two out of the three will suffer." And I was seeing that because I was also on Instagram, and Instagram and YouTube were suffering, but my TikToks were thriving. And the funny thing is, TikTok has nothing to do with music for me at all. I don't post music. I did um, post a few covers, if you will, more like karaoke sessions here and there. But then I stopped doing that, and those were actually doing kind of well. Um, but I just, yeah, I don't know. I had a lot to work on, um, and I still do. Even now, um I singing is very throaty, and so I've been working on relaxing the shoulders, um presenting. Sorry, there's a squirrel in the background. I've been presenting new techniques, if you will. I don't know why I said presenting, as if I'm presenting it to somebody else. I've been, working on those techniques that I've learned to help engage the diaphragm, and being able to sing the right way and have breath support. But occasionally, I still revert back to my old habits because old habits die hard. And so I've been doing that, but in the process of doing that, I kind of just took a step back from capturing the moment, um because I don't know, I just didn't feel motivated enough. But then at the same time, I was like, well, who cares? I'm just gonna go on about my day and just do these things for me. But then in doing that, I realized like I neglected my YouTube channel. So I was like, yeah, boy is stressed out here, right? But then, once I like got all of those challenges out the way in terms of like figuring out where I wanted to go and narrowing that down and just like truly focusing on the goals at hand, then my frustration started to expand towards the type of music I would want to do. And I listen to all genres, but my favorite genre is pop, right? And I was like, oh, I want to do pop. But you have to like really craft your voice to become like um pop focused. And I'm like, damn, like do I have what it takes? Like cuz I would hate to be like an artist that I'm doing a genre that doesn't necessarily fit me. But the thing is like I'm someone who believes that like you can do any genre you want if you like really focus your energy on like making it fit, right? But then I'm like, that doesn't sound pleasant. Making something fit that doesn't fit, like that just doesn't work, right? But like my thing is, it's like finding that actual balance because on line on like TikTok and stuff and like even Instagram, I've seen like where they're comparing like a performer to a vocalist to a singer, and they're like there's a difference. And the thing is I would like to be a vocalist, but I also would want to be like a performer where you're like you have that vocal agility to like vocal gymnastics basically. But the thing is I'm someone who does not want to like use autotune, like, and I get like you have to use autotune to some degree or like pitch correction, but like I literally was like working on getting the pitch down to a T. Like I can match the pitch on the piano, but when it comes to like holding that pitch or um instantly matching that pitch, like sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't, and that's just because like I did not do I'm someone who like, even though this is bad to say, I hate vocal warm-ups, but that's literally the bread and butter of it, like vocal warm-ups. Like you have to do vocal warm-ups. You have to, especially if you want to maintain a healthy like vocal range. And then not even just that, but like if you really want to make sure that your because they said vocal cords isn't the actual like professional term. Um, don't even know why it matters here, but yeah, yeah, whatever. Forgot what it's actually like, what they actually prefer to call it. But yeah, if you want your like vocal cords to actually, you know, be healthy and you want to be able to maintain like the pitches and stuff and all that, you have to do vocal warm-ups. And I was like neglecting that because I was just like, no, like it's very I don't know why, like honestly I genuinely like was neglecting to do those. It's like all you have to do is spend 10 to 15 minutes just warming up. Hell, even 5 minutes is helpful. And I would just brush past that, and then I got to a point where I was like, do you really want this then? Like, do you really? And the thing is, like, no matter how many times I like try to walk away from like wanting to do music on like any sort of level, not only just like mixing and producing like my own, you know, beats and stuff, but like I literally want to get in the field. And I'm just like, but the thing is, like, I want to be one of those like artists that you don't know about per se, like where I just upload stuff onto my YouTube channel and possibly like SoundCloud or Spotify, and then just leave it at that, and not like actually push myself out there like to be like this big artist. Because truth be told, I used to want that, don't care for that anymore, just like I used to want to be like a big actor, and then I started to realize that wasn't like what I was after. I just like to do things for self-fulfillment, if you will. And yeah, I do like to still entertain other people and make other people laugh and smile, but like at the same time, it's kind of like, whoa there, pump your brakes. So that's kind of like where I've been at. But the thing is, no matter how many times I try to walk away from like music the way I did with acting, it doesn't work. Like something always in my brain just goes pop, and I'm just like, oh my god, what if like this melody was like written like this to sound like this or whatever. And I'm just like, and then I had like recently took notes about melodies, and was like doing more research on how to like use Logic Pro. And yeah, and like how basically um melodies are the vital key component to songs. And like songs that have longevity have like a really memorable melody. And so I've been like working on figuring out what a melody like truly is, and you know what sounds and things like just automatically like speak to me, right? But in that process of doing like all that work and stuff, I was just like, damn, it's like a lot of work. And I'm like, if I really want to capture this experience, I need to stop being lazy, right? But then it sounds so bad because it's just like, bro. But then like I would get into a point in my life where I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna capture it. I'm just gonna, do me and just work on me and like figure things out on my own or whatever. Because another part of me does not, I still like, even though I understand criticism, a lot of people try to do like that harsh criticism. Like they don't, they'll judge you, but they won't help like push you in a direction that's actually useful. They'll just chastise you. They'll be like, that sucked, or that was lame, that was whack, or blah 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 blah. Or they'll try to like tell you specifically what you can't do, instead of being like, your strong suits are actually these, so if you focus on this, you will have a chance. And then come back to like your weaknesses and develop them more, you know what I mean? But instead people love to like perpetuate that negativity, and they're just like, yeah, no, this ain't it, hang it up. And then they try to be funny, and you're like, okay. But the thing is, I got to like a point where all my insecurities came from within. Like, you could literally, I once had this lady tell me like she loved my singing, but I knew it was flat, and I was like trying way too damn hard. And I was just like, girl, you ain't gotta be nice. You can tell me the truth. You can tell me like, it's almost there, but not quite. Like, you need to put some sauce in that bit. Like, but she was real sweet, bless her. But no, honestly. And then I was like thinking like, okay, but the music is also like oversaturated, so I'm kind of like, where would I even fit into it? There's just like a lot going through my head, and just but overall, like, I started to just take a step back, focus. And I also been like creating, like actually working on songwriting, because I just love writing. Like, and I used to journal a lot. I used to write what I thought were gonna be novels, but then some of my ideas like already like ended up playing out on like a TV show, and I was just like, okay, so we're gonna scrap that, because then they're gonna be like, oh, you took this idea from so and so. And I hate that more than anything. Is like, people always think you're trying to copy somebody else, and it's like, that's not even the case. Literally one day I just woke up and just said, oh, I like this idea, and I just jotted it down. And then you like put it out there, and then somebody else already like has the idea. You don't even know of that person, and you know nothing about you know what it is they're doing. And then people automatically try to like say, oh, you're copying so and so. And it's like, another thing, also the lack of motivation. Actually, I want to touch on that again. My lack of motivation was just like, I don't know, because it was just like there's something within me that was like saying, "Oh, do this, do that," but then when I would like go to do it and it didn't pan out the way I wanted, like not even right away, because I started to understand that things take time, and if you want to get better, you have to fail first. But like I'm one of those people who was like a perfectionist, if you will, and so I hated the idea of like failing first. And then I kept seeing like over the last 3 to 6 weeks, for a few months, actually, maybe like 5 to 6 months, but the most like the last 3 to 6 weeks, um, I kept seeing something about like, oh, if you want to fail, I mean, if you want to do like success, you want to be successful, you have to fail like a bunch of times first, and like various quotes of that. One was like, sometimes it takes 100 bad drawings before you get that one good drawing, and I said, oh hell no. But that's where being human comes in for me. I had to like rewire my thinking, like, okay, you're a human. Mistakes are inevitable. And then on top of that, you can't just jump on a bike and say, I'm riding. You need training wheels first. So, um, that's kind of how I had to start looking at it, is like, okay, so if you want to like get into it and you want to do well, then get that training, right? So I would try to like get vocal training. It all just kept blowing up in my fucking face. Like, I had people cancel. I was like, okay. Then I had them like schedule me with someone who wasn't even a vocalist, so they were like, oh, that's not my field. And I was like, so then, and then like the prices, they would like charge astronomical prices for like 1 to 2 sessions, and like the sessions weren't even like, some of them were understandable, some of them weren't. And then like the lessons I was like taking during 2020 ended up getting like canceled a little after because of COVID and everything. So it was just a mess. Everything was just a mess. And then I took that as a sign. It was like, okay, Mel, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. But then sometimes the signs that you perceive as like, oh, this is a sign not to, it's a sign of not right now. You know what I mean? Because I have improved vocally, but I had to like teach myself, and that shit sucked because I didn't know like whether or not it was like right or wrong. So then I downloaded this pitch app that was showing me my like pitches in real time, and then I also have a 61 keyboard. Hated using it because it's like it's not accurate. So then I got a digital piano, and that was better, but then I don't even play it because I was like and then my room was cluttered, so I couldn't even like just make space to sit down and play it. Like, just a lot. But moving forward, I'm gonna start working on 3 videos a week, and we're going to get into it. Okay, we're gonna learn this together. Okay, this might be a very daunting task at first, but it will get easier gradually. And then I also was like reading a book about habits and how they form, and there's no like real set number of times before something actually starts to stick, but a good rule of thumb is like repeating something 3 to 5 times a month, for several months. And there was like another book I read that was talking about like a certain, like, I think it said at least like something, it was like in the thousands, I think, for like hours of repetition before something starts to like stick and get better or whatever. I don't know. Honestly, when I find all these numbers, I'll have to like do a follow-up so I can give you guys the actual information, because I feel like it seems like I'm just making shit up, but I'm not. I've been reading a lot. Like, I have a whole bookcase over there full of books, and the top one is all music related. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. And it's just like, I have even more books right here, music based. I have another one right here. Damn. Then I have a bunch more books in this bench storage unit. And I'm just like, and that's another thing. I became overwhelmed because I was like, I have all these damn books to like tackle and like read, and I'm like not getting through them as fast as I was because I don't know, like I just took like a mental break. And then I had like burnout, but then I got it together and now I'm like in it. But it sucks because I literally like got in it 2 days before going back to work. So I returned to work in 2 days and I'm like, I had 10 days off and now I'm feeling it. So I guess it's just like my revelation that yes, I can actually do multiple things at once and work extremely hard to improve, and if I really want it, I will go after it. So yeah, that's just been an update. This video was like rambling 90% of it, and then but at least I'm back and I'm actually I have a where did my planner go? Well, I have a planner so I can stick to my posting days, and I put a calendar on my wall so I can mark things down, and we're just gonna do it different. We're gonna be better. We're gonna show up, if not for myself, for anyone else who's curious about what it's like when you have no musical background, or you want to get into music but you're not sure how to go about it. That's what I'm here for. You guys will probably see me have a few breakdowns on camera. I'm gonna be so honest, because music it's a tough sport to get into, because like even when you shouldn't say like things like that, because then it becomes ingrained in your brain like, oh, this is gonna be hard. It truly is not. I mean, it's not as bad as I'm making it seem, because I was like learning music theory. I was teaching myself music theory, and I have like books on that too. But like, it's just one of those things where it takes like a lot of time and dedication. So that's like the hard part about it. And then like also finding like what pleases your ears, and just like sounds that typically please the human ears in general, like. And that's like when I like started learning about frequencies and things, because that's also a very important factor. Like what may be like pleasing to your ears, not everybody can handle that. So there's just a lot to unpack. So yeah, this is gonna be a definitely an informative journey for sure, but it's gonna be fun nonetheless. Ooh, that's like a face of unsure. But yeah, we will see what happens in the new year. Let me go before my phone fully dies.